Hi everyone, my name is Fiona Diel and I am here with the second episode in my series of The Wonder of Women, where I'm interviewing women from Women Together, a networking group that I set up for women in business in Forth Valley during lockdown. I'm joined today by the lovely Mel Anderson from Dollar, and we're going to have a little chat about her business and how she is coping with lockdown. Hi Mel, nice to see you.
Hi Fiona, it's good to see you too on this very snowy day, but it's beautiful sunshine, beautiful sunshine.
It is gorgeous, isn't it? But wow, it's cold.
It's cold. Thank you for inviting me. It's lovely to be here.
You're absolutely welcome. So Mel, tell me a little bit about Mel and who you are.
A little bit about Mel. Okay, well, I'm Mel Anderson and I live in Dollar with my husband and two Labradors. I have two grown-up children, a daughter and a son, and they're in their 30s, and I have two lovely grandsons. And that's me, that's who I am.
Fantastic. So Mel, tell me a little about this business that you've got, Ushask.
Oh yes, Ushask, yes, what a name. Thanks for saying it right. I think the name gets everyone speaking. The business Ushask is an acronym for the words once owned should have a second chance, Ushask. And it's a pre-loved ladies clothing business that I operate from what was our offices. We have a building outside the house, and I operate my business from there. And that's really what Ushask is. I sell accessories as well. I used to sell shoes, but that's all in the past. But I've got lovely dresses, skirts, coats, trousers, all sorts of things. Lovely.
So why did you start your business then, Mel? What was it that drove you to start this business?
Well, I've had a very mixed background. I was in the hotel industry, and then I met my husband, and he's a lawyer, but he was in the oil industry, and traveled all around the world with him, doing various jobs. And then sadly, about 13 years ago, he became ill. And he had a stroke, and I became a carer literally overnight. So I had to start thinking after a couple of years, after he had his stroke, what can I do to earn some money and, still be nearby home? And I was taking some clothes to Marie Curie and things that I didn't wear anymore, like skirts, jackets, dresses that I don't wear. The business stuff, yeah, the stuff that I knew I wasn't going to use. And on the way there, I had this sort of light bulb moment. Yes, I'm going to take them home. I'm going to sell them, because some of them were absolutely brand new. And I thought, this is ridiculous. So I coincidentally had a girly supper that week with 7 of my girly pals. And we sat around the table and I was telling them about this idea, and 6 of them said, oh, fantastic, that's a brilliant idea. I've got stuff you could sell, it'd be great to get it out of the wardrobe so hubby doesn't ever know. Ha ha, we've all done that. And one of them said it wouldn't work, particularly in Dollar. However, she has since then eaten her words and used the shop to sell her stuff. So that's really, it started in my front room. I had 300 items. I opened my house to Joe Public for the week, and people came in, and I think I had about 8 items left at the end of the week.
Wow.
And the girls that were selling the stuff were delighted. The people that bought the stuff were delighted. And from then I just decided, right, I'm going to use that building outside, create a shop, and Ushask was born.
Fantastic. So you've used this term when you said you would have pre-loved clothes.
Yeah.
And people would bring things that were and buy pre-loved clothes. Describe to me then what pre-loved means to you.
Pre-loved, I suppose in layman's terms is second-hand, although I find that very difficult to say about the clothes I sell, because about 70% of them at the moment have the tags on, brand new with tags, BNTW, no, WT, sorry. Pre-loved means that someone has bought that item of clothing, has loved it. They might have been gifted it, and they've either grown too big or too small, mainly too big, and they would rather get it out of the wardrobe so that they've got space for something else. And it's too good to just give away. They think they might just like to make a little bit of money, and to help them buy something else that sits on them better, suits them better, whatever. So everything in the shop has been loved, and it's looking for somebody to love it again.
Sounds fantastic. Sounds like a great deal. I probably have quite a few things that need to be loved again. Unfortunately,
Well,
it's because I'm smaller than I used to be.
yes, well, there you are. You have
And
the
I'm always loath to part with them, which is such a negative attitude. But I do love them, and I think, oh, could I just maybe get that taken in? Could I just? And that's the beauty of second-hand or pre-loved too, because I have in pre-loved stores and other places found things that I loved that I had in a bigger size, now in a smaller size, and so I'm sure that people find that as well. Oh, I had that and it didn't fit, and now it's there's a size bigger that you have.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm thinking about a bit about two different things here that I've thought about. First of all, it's about the environmental thing. As you know, I love the environment. Environmental angle is really important to me. So I'm interested because I know it's important to you. So
well, it is. And I mean,
more about that then, about this environmental angle that comes from your business.
Yeah, it's lovely that I met you through the Women Together in Business, because I mean, it's this, you know, it is such a strong thing these days, the environmental challenges that we need to overcome. And I think when I first started the business, I didn't really think about the environment so much. I mean, we were heavily into recycling and using things again and making a difference, but it wasn't really until the grandchildren were born that I suddenly thought, oh my goodness me, you know, what can I do to help? I'm not going to say save the planet, but, you know, do something to make a difference. And I then realized that what I was doing actually was very positive. I mean, the carrier bags that I use have all been made with recycled paper. I did try to source my rails, you know, secondhand. A couple of them were, but, you know, initially I just had to, you know, do that. So everything has a recycled theme. And, you know, the fact that you're not damaging the planet in any way, because it became obvious to me that things like the cost of making, say, for example, a dress on the environment, not the actual money side, when I looked at the sort of carbon footprint that it caused, it's 80 kilograms of carbon required to make just one dress. And you're talking about making fabric, you know, the factories where they make them, the dyes, all these things, and also 10,000 litres of water to
Isn't
make.
that crazy?
It is. And you know, people like Stacey Dooley, she did a program a few years ago about
that was really good.
Fabric industry, you know, how much they use it making cotton. I think she focused on India, where there's a lot of cotton fabric made, and it is really upsetting about the pollution. You know, you think that, oh, go and have a swim in the sea, it's wonderful, but actually there are so many pollutants out there, it's terrible. So I can't bear the thought of my kids' kids and their kids in the future having to deal with all this. I'm trying to make a little bit of difference.
And I think a nice little phrase that I've heard recently about that is be part of the solution, not the pollution. And I quite like that. So
I think that's absolutely beautiful. If I can maybe use that, Fiona, that's
of course you can. Absolutely. I only heard it. I say take it. You know, but I only heard that somewhere. I thought it was a really, really nice thing to say. So how do you then source your stock for your shop?
Well, as I said to you initially, a lot of it was from myself and my friends that I know locally. They sort of cottoned onto the fact. And then I started to panic and think, oh my goodness, you know, I'm never going to have any stock. But the funny thing is, word got around. And initially I did sort of take almost anything. And then I found that it wasn't selling. I had a lot of vintage stuff, which went very quickly. But then there's only a certain amount of vintage stuff that comes in. And then I realized I had to be a bit picky about what I took in. But it comes in from all over the place. When I start to panic that there's no stock, someone will phone me up and say, Mel, you know, are you able to take any more items into the shop? And it's like, thank you. You know, it's been very difficult this last year, but ordinarily, you know, stock is fairly easy to get hold of. I don't buy anything.
No. And so tell me then, do you have a limit to what people can bring in, or do you want to first?
Yeah, I do. That is a good question. As time has gone on, the last 6-7 years, I've said to people, please only bring 10 items. I will only take a maximum of 10 for any client at any time. Obviously, if something gets sold, I'll take something else from them. And that seems to work really well, because I think, you know, say they bring along 15 items for me to look at. It may well only be that I can say 8 of them are suitable for selling. It doesn't mean to say the rest is rubbish, but I've got to know my clients over that time and the people that come in and what they're actually looking for. And you know, also I don't want sort of repeat items all the time. It's nice to have something a bit quirky and a bit different.
Absolutely. And I think that that's what people like, isn't it? To get something a little bit different. And you can often do that, obviously, when it is pre-loved, because it's not maybe from this season.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So who are your customers and clients then? Who are they?
Well, initially they were friends, and then it has spread and spread. And I'm very fortunate to live on the main road of Dollar, so I do have a sandwich board that I can display outside to say and signal where the shop is. And I've had a footfall from that. But they come from all over. People that holiday here in the summer, if they see the shop and come in. I've had people from as far north as Thurso, and then down to Wales and Devon, the Isle of Wight, France, all sorts of places. My youngest client has been 13, and my oldest was 96. Sadly, she's not with us anymore. But we've very broad customer base, which is great.
Excellent. That sounds great. So obviously lockdown has meant that your doors have had to close and then maybe open for small amounts of people and close again and open and close, because that's the way it's been for most retail businesses. So what have you used, and what sort of channels have you used then for selling during this time?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, lockdown has crippled so many people in the retail business, and particularly small business that's been involved. Thank you for bringing us all together. Again, Fiona, because the group is fantastic, because we are all small businesses. During lockdown, I suddenly thought, well, I've got to do something. Like many of us in the group, I fell through the cracks. I wasn't able to apply for a government loan or anything like that. Too small. So. I thought I got to do something. So I put my big girl pants on, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to do a live video. And the first one I did was just like, oh my goodness me, what am I doing? And what do I show? How do I show it? And, gosh, it's not professional enough. However, it seemed to get a response. So a year ago, if you told me, will you do a live video of what you've got in the shop? I go, oh gosh, no, I can't do that. No, no. Well, I tell you what, twice a week now, I bare my soul. I produce all these wonderful items on the rails, because it's the only way that people are able to get out and shop. I mean, some people have been in lockdown 3 or 4 times. We've been in lockdown twice here. They can't get out, they can't see things. I can post them out to them. If they live locally, they can pick up from the doorstep. And the beauty of having social media and people being able to pay by things like Bax or PayPal, things like that. There's such easy things to set up. And, I think we get so into this thing, oh, we can't do it, but we can. And, it was just a matter of finding a way of getting those products out to the ladies that were needing to shop.
Absolutely. And I can just say to anybody who's watching that hasn't watched one of Mel's lives, that you should nip over to her Ujask page on Facebook and have a good look, because they are really good. They're great fun, and she's always got a great variety of clothes to show you. So do that, and you never know, you might find yourself a pre-loved purchase.
Absolutely.
So what makes your business then distinctive and unique to other second-hand clothes stores, or rather pre-loved?
But it's always difficult to say and blow your own trumpet, but I think it's because I'm small and because it's me, I'm able to offer a personal service. Clients that actually have been customers for the last however many years and are at distance, they're able to phone me up and say, hi Mel, I'm looking for this, have you got anything like that in the shop? And because I know them and I know their size and I know what they're like, I'm able to help them. And that's a sort of a service on top of the shop, I'm able to offer. And I think also it's not intimidating, although some people would find it hard going into a small shop and feel they've got to buy something. I mean, I know I sometimes feel like that, and I think, oh, I better buy something before I leave. I don't need it. But I never let anyone do that. I encourage people to come in, and I would rather you went out with nothing than something you would never wear, because it'll just end up back in the shop again.
Absolutely. And then you need to sell it twice. Absolutely. But on top of all of these products as well, though, I know that you also sell jewellery. I know this because I have this beautiful necklace that I bought from you. just recently and bought some beautiful pieces at Christmas for gifts as well. So you also have a jewellery business too.
Yes, I do. And I think you can see behind me here, there are some items displayed, and obviously I keep them in the shop. It's a company called Park Lane, and I run that in association with the shop. And some of you might say, oh, well, that's not very environmental. However, I can assure you, I went right into where all their products are sourced, and it's a very ethical company. It's a family company. There's no shareholders. So there's some fabulous items, and it's great for people to come in. I do a lot of pre-loved wedding occasion outfits, you know, especially mother of the bride, mother of the groom, hats. And then, you know, if they can find a little sparkly piece to wear, because I remember a lovely lady coming in. She said, I only ever wear jeans and my son's getting married. What can I do? Well, she spent a lovely afternoon in here, an outfit, got the jewelry. She said, well, that's fine. I don't have to go anywhere else. So yeah, it is a facility. And also the jewelry is lovely. It's very affordable as well. And there's some great deals to be had with the Park Lane jewelry. As
fantastic. That's great. And so Mel, if people wanted to get in touch with you, how are they able to do that?
Well, if they use the website, not the website, the Facebook page, it's Ooshask by Mel Anderson. That's OOSHASC by Mel Anderson. They'll find me there. They can like the page if they like it, which I'm sure they will, and they'll see the videos there. They can, you know, send me a message via comment or whatever, messenger. And my email, if they wanted to get a hold of me, is No, it's not. It's Mel.Anderson. Mel.Anderson@mac.com, and you can inquire directly through that email. I don't have a website anymore. I did initially, but I was spending every day changing the photographs as things were sold, and actually I wasn't able to concentrate on the shop. So find social media and Instagram. You'll find me on Instagram as well, and I forget, it's MelJand59, I think. But you'll get the link from Ooshask by Mel Anderson, and I look forward to welcoming you to the page and to the shop when you can come in.
I know, that sounds fantastic. I just can't wait to be able to go to the shops again. I'm not a big shopper. I wouldn't like every weekend shopping, but I really do miss going and looking in a nice shop for some nice things.
It is. I think everybody's
shop that's behind you.
Yeah,
super. Well, Mel, thank you very much for sharing about your business, and thank you for having the time to come on this afternoon. I'm really grateful for that. I will share all your contact details underneath this so that people can get in touch with you if they wish to do so. So thank you very much, and all the very best with your further lives, and let's hope we can get open again soon.
Absolutely. And Fiona, thank you so much for giving me this.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.